I've had several people ask me for a base map for the Speeduino that I used on my Supercharged J Series Honda Civic. I don't really want to maintain a download site for that. So what I'm going to do is just walk you through the settings, and you can make your own base map off of this. Okay, so this was a J30a5 with as many stock sensors as I could use, including the map, engine coolant, intake air, TPS, all that kind of fun stuff, coils. So I'll just kind of walk through here what I did and how I set stuff, so you can get a feel for how to make everything work. All right, for the trigger settings, I had a missing tooth 12-1, and so what I did is took the stock crank position sensor and took a tooth off of that. You can look at my other videos in the Civic build series on which tooth I took off, and you could start with using this -3 trigger angle, and that worked fine. I did use the falling edge, and I was only running the crank position sensor. I had a what ECU was I running? One with 4 ignition outputs and 4 injector outputs, so I was running wasted coil on plug and paired injectors. So that should be everything you need there. Going over here, tools. There's no TPS calibration to show, because if you have any 0 to 5 volt throttle position sensor, it'll work fine. Going to pressure sensors, I used the stock map sensor with these values. 0 volts is -3 kPa. 181 is 5 volts. You don't actually get 0 to 5, you get like 0.1 to 4.9 or something like that. So this stock map sensor on the J series, like the 07 single exhaust port ones, will read up to about 10 psi. So I just use the stock map sensor. Moving on to the temperature sensors. So the stock J series coolant temperature sensor, if you just choose the Bosch sensor from the drop down list here, that'll give you all the right values for the stock J series coolant temp sensor, and the intake air temp sensor uses the same values. So just grab those and put them in there, and that's pretty easy to set up. What else do I have here? Yep, that's probably fine. I was running a wideband, which if you're running a Speeduino, you should be running a wideband anyways. So there's nothing, look at your manual and set up the limits for the wideband like that. Spark settings. Like I said, I was using wasted spark coil on plug, so I was using 3 outputs, and I paired the trigger of the coils. The J series coils are 5 volt signal wire, and they trigger going low. So set this up properly like this, and you won't have any problems. You do have to get the dwell right, or you'll cook them. So my dwell settings are these: cranking dwell 4 milliseconds, running dwell was 3, spark duration 1. That worked fine. I did have overdwell protection on, so couldn't go over 8. And let's see what else I've got here. Here's my dwell compensation curve. I'll even show you the table if I can find it. Nope, over here. Yes, there we go. There's the dwell table I was using. So around 14-ish volts, you were 100% dwell, and if voltage went lower, it would increase the dwell like it normally would. So use those values for the stock J series coils. I don't think there's anything here that's worth looking at. Nope, that's all injector specific. And the VE table looked like this. The spark table looked like this. Take a screenshot of that.